Welcome. If you're a woman who has a sense that there's more out there for you, you're in the right place. I'm Whitney Baker, host of the Electric Ideas podcast. Somewhere along the line of work and kids, life carried on, but I lost track of my truth. I'm on a reflective journey, and that's what this podcast is all about. Each week, I interview a woman who is lighting her own path and offering others hope. Before our conversation ends, we'll share a reflective question for you to explore. Sometimes all we need is a jolt, a fresh idea, an aha moment that connects us to a sense of possibility. This, my friends, is what I call an electric idea. Welcome back to Electric Ideas. Today, you've got me, your host, Whitney Baker, and this is my first solo cast. I'm really excited because I'm doing something different. It's a little scary because sometimes we need to push into our discomfort zone, right? That's how we grow. That's how we expand. I feel ready for this. I know that it's a really full time for women and I want to stay consistent, but I'm also trying to create space in my life to show up for my family how I want to show up during this special time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate from now through the end of the year, a regularly scheduled interview with a wonderful guest and then a little jolt, just so you have something every Thursday to continue to tap into. Since we're on the brink of full-on holiday season, I felt called to chat about how we might consider staying sane. And because these last few months across the board are just full, whether you're kind of strapped with year-end stuff at work or you're the wizard behind the curtain for all the holiday magic at home or you have travel to plan, it's a super easy time to completely abandon things that keep you centered. So tip number one is to get curious about what you can continue to do in a smaller, consistent way. So for example, maybe you're used to taking a yoga class a few times a week and you don't see how that's a fit. Maybe you're like, oh, I've got the holiday cards and the presents, the pageants, whatever. It's really easy to make excuses. Maybe you commit to just doing an at-home practice for 15 minutes a few days a week, just because you need energy more than ever during these times of high emotional demand. You need to find ways to stay consistent and take small action so you don't fall into that resentment trap. Nobody wants a resentful friend, partner, mom during the holidays. Another idea I had, let's say you're an artist. Maybe you feel like you'd abandon yourself if you don't create it all during the holiday season. Why don't you see, instead of letting your creativity come to a screeching halt, could you think outside the box and maybe include your family during these full months by doing something creative together? It might not be the same, but at least it could possibly still fuel you. We all want to feel replenished and be able to show up present to make memories with our families during this time. But we got to take care of ourselves in order to do that. I'm living this out right now with the podcast. I love the podcast. It lights me up. It's an area where I get to learn and grow and serve. But I want to be super intentional about creating space and not getting trapped and overwhelmed this season. So that's why I am doing less, but still staying consistent, still showing up for myself and things that I love. Okay. Tip number 2, remember that the quality of your presence is most important. It's more important than any trimming of the tree you'll do, any place setting you'll put on the table. So be realistic about what you can reasonably do and how you can actually incorporate your family into the work or friends, regardless of how your gathering looks. If you spend more time running around and showing up to every event with feeling frazzled and maybe even complaining and kind of having that feeling that one foot is out the door, who are you really serving? No one wants to hear about how busy you are at a holiday party, right? Find a way to give yourself enough space that you can show up and actually enjoy the joy of the season. I give you permission to say no. I give you permission to buy the pies. I give you permission to have things look differently than they did at your childhood home. I give you permission to let go of traditions that you don't even like anymore, that don't serve you, and to make up your own traditions that do, that you love for your family. I will make an analogy, again, coming back to my life with this current podcast episode. At first, I felt really stuck doing my first episode by myself because I was putting the weight of the world on it. And it took talking to a mentor to realize I was doing that. I was like, okay, the first one should be Whitney's top 3 life lessons. I mean, it was just, nobody's even asking for that. Instead, I shifted my mindset and I said, okay, what if it could just be fun and easy? What if I can sit down and speak from the heart? And guess what? That's where the magic happened. When I had this grandiose pressure thing that I felt like I had to live up to, I felt stilted and stuck and it's not authentic. When I was just like, how can I keep this easy and fun? Then it just came to me and it's easy. And I sat down. I'm just speaking from the heart. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do one take and I'm going to be done. It's going to be simple. So where in your holiday life and planning can you use that as a filter? If you're feeling like daunted, where can you just say, how can I keep this simple and easy and fun? Maybe your decor this year is limited to some fresh greens and whatever your kids drag home from school. Guess what? If it feels good for you, it's good enough. I can tell you right now that your family cares a lot more about what it feels like than what it looks like. So don't get me wrong. I like to host. I love beautiful tablescapes. I love all that, but not at the expense of me tipping into an energy that serves nobody. So just check yourself. Tip number 3, where can I ask for help? So I know people are always like, reach out for help, but I actually had a little story that happened to me just this past week that I thought might resonate. So it was a lesson I learned because I think we forget that other people are really busy during this time too. And actually they want to contribute. And if you can shift your thinking to be like, how can I make it easy for them to contribute? I think people like a clear action item that they can do or a clear thing that they can bring. So I'll give you an example. I host an annual Halloween gathering for my block, and an old version of me always said, no, your presence is great. Your presence is great. But guess what? I can keep this simple and fun and easy if I just accept people's help when they reach out and ask what they can bring. I give people who ask an assignment, and I think people like to contribute. But I think you can go a step further. So for this most recent party, I actually reached out to a friend because I felt like, okay, I don't want to be overstretched and I could use a little help. And this is a good friend. I feel fine being direct. And I just said, hey, can you bring, that really good salad that you made that one time? And maybe, I don't even know what else. And she was like, oh my gosh, yes, thank you so much for giving me an assignment. So people want to help. So just remember, when you're having people to your home, the fewer things you can be doing the day of, the better. So if somebody brings an entire dish, that's not just them contributing that dish. That's them contributing the groceries, the cooking, the cleanup. So cut yourself some slack and see what you can get help with. So as you know, I end every Electric Ideas episode with a reflective question, and the same holds for my mini jolts. So as we're tipping into full-on holiday season, I want you to ask yourself, how do I want my holidays to feel? And now, before you're in the total thick of it, make some commitments to yourself. Think about what you actually need to do or plan or cancel or create in order for the holidays to feel how you want them to feel. Okay, guys, that's it for today. If you have any feedback or any tips that you want to share with me for kind of keeping us grounded during the holiday season, you're welcome to email me at whitney@myelectricideas.com, and I'll share them out. This community is all about sharing and uplifting each other. I hope you look at your day today with a fresh sense of possibility. Thanks, and have an inspired day. I'm so glad you joined me today. If you're looking for more, feel free to connect with me on Instagram at @WhitneyWoman. And if you enjoyed the show, I invite you to support me by leaving a review or sharing it with a friend. Hope you have an inspired day.